Hey guys, Langosta here. Today I have a little project that I have at the range. I've been working on this load for a while. It's for my dad's Smith & Wesson, an X-frame Smith & Wesson chambered in 500 Smith & Wesson. So I've got a load worked up here, and I just want to give you my thoughts on why this load, what's the purpose of it, what's the goal, and that type of stuff, and kind of how I got here. Jesus Christ. So when you load for these big bore guns, this is 8" and change with a comp on top. Definitely you can load this up soft to be a softer load, or you can load it up to be a stopping gun. Hornady makes, there's a bunch of manufacturers that make the bullets for the projectiles themselves, but these are Hornady XTP bullets. So this is a Hornady XTP 350 grainer, full shell, full size large rifle or large pistol primer. This is a Magnum primer, but this is a 350 grain bullet. So think about that. You're hunting 30-06 round, 308 round is 168 grains. This is double that weight in an 8" barrel, right? So there's issues. The biggest issue that I want to make sure that we don't have is stuck cases in the cylinders. So if the pressure's wrong, or if the cylinders are dirty, you'll have stuck cases. So first thing I did is I polished the insides of all the cylinders, make sure that there's no crud in there, there's no debris, there's no burnt powder. By the way, that's good practice for any revolver, is to ensure that your cylinder interiors are nice and clean. So we've worked up this load slowly, building up. Can't share with you the whole formula on YouTube, but we are using Lil Gun as the gunpowder, and the bullet is a Hornady 350 grain XTP bullet. So the purpose of this is to be able to load something that is at least 1600 feet a second and won't get stuck. And ideally the recoil isn't so brutal that it's hard to maintain. Now you notice I got my gloves on, and I only wear these things when the recoil is pretty brutal. So I'm gonna fire off a couple shots and share with you, you know, what my reaction is on this load. So let's do it. So we're gonna put some eyes and ears on, and I'm just gonna load 3 rounds in here and give it a test drive. We're gonna be shooting at 7 yards. We're all set up for that now. And I'm gonna go single action, guys. When it's a lot of recoil like this, you get a little flinchy. So we're gonna go single action, guys. Here we go, X-frame. 500 Smith & Wesson, here we go. Woo, brutal. Very close, nice tight groups. Jesus Christ. Well, as you can see from the recoil on camera, it's pretty brutal. Now let's check the cases. See if they're stuck, or if they just fall out on their own, or if they fall out with a little gentle nudge of the ramrod. So we got 1 out, 2 out, no problem. As far as that's concerned, that's perfect. That's what we want. The accuracy, I mean, granted we're only at 7 yards, but the accuracy is very good. It's just mostly your brain trying not to anticipate the shot because of the recoil that you know is coming. So let's look at the velocity. So that's our session summary. The average is 1712, the minimum is 1672, and the max is 1740. And that's on a total of 9 shots. The extreme spread is 67 feet a second. That's not terrible. Looks pretty good to me. Let's see what the standard deviation is. 20 feet a second. So anything that's under 50 feet a second on the standard deviation is considered a very good load. You know, granted, if everything else is the same, very good accuracy and the recoil is good. I would have to say my first impressions is that the recoil is pretty brutal. So if I bring it back, so here's my trade-off. 44 Magnum will give you a velocity of about 1400 when it's fully loaded, okay? So I think that if I were to load this down to 1500 feet a second, maybe 1450, it would turn into a pussycat. It would be much milder than what it is. And the reason that I want to reduce the recoil is because on rapid fire, right? If you were to do a rapid fire because you're being attacked by a bear or whatever, that recoil just eats up a lot of time. So getting back on the target is essential when you're defending yourself against a dangerous game animal. Now, if we're just hunting deer from a stand, no problem. This load would be 100% no problem. We could probably work up the sights at a predetermined distance, let's say 50 yards, and then sight it in at 50 yards and know that we're gonna shoot 50 yards and in from the deer stand. Okay, no problem. But this load, I wanted to do this as a defensive load for bear in Alaska. Now, granted, this gun is it's kind of big to hump around, so it's probably not the best gun selection to go around, but Smith & Wesson does make a shorter barreled gun. I do believe they make this in a 5-inch and a 3-inch, which is probably unbearable to shoot. Anyway, this is kind of my little progress on this project, and as I come up with other loads, and I'll definitely share them with you. The other thing that I was considering is just going with a lighter bullet, so maybe a 270 grain bullet, maybe a 300 grain bullet, and I want to compare the recoil on this for comparable velocities with the 44 Magnum and the 454 Casull to see what's the best all-around performance for what we want to get accomplished, which would be a trail gun. We're going to be considering obviously the size of the gun, the weight of the gun, the way the gun handles under recoil, and the bullet performance, the terminal performance, so the velocity, and then how accurate is it. I would say on a scale of 1 to 5, accuracy-wise, it's a 5. I would say this load, as far as pressure and safety, it's a 5. I think on the recoil, I'd probably give it a 2. And to be honest with you, I don't want to go with a heavier gun. This gun is pretty heavy as it is. So I think that the sweet spot may be to go with a lighter bullet. So drop it down from a 350 grain to a 300 grainer and bring the powder down a little bit more and see how it feels. Because this gun is not light. I mean, it's a pretty hefty gun. So we should be able to get to a place where the recoil is manageable. It's still stout, but it's manageable, and the follow-up shots are much better. Woo! Well, so the final verdict on the gun itself, let me know in the comments below. You think this is a trail gun, or do you want something heavier or smaller? And then as far as the rounds go, I think that the verdict is still out on that. I think they're a little too stout. I want to go with a little bit lighter. I want to try out some lighter bullets and compare. If I lose velocity or the recoil isn't that much better, then I'll reconsider the 350, but stay tuned for that. We're going to be posting an article on riflesrodsandbroads.com about this gun and this load, and if you want to go check it out, riflesrodsandbroads.com. And if you want to send me an email, mulletmail@riflesrodsandbroads.com. Langosta signing out.